You felt the room shift before anyone said a word. Your manager walked in, set her coffee down harder than usual, and your whole chest tightened. Nobody had spoken. Nobody had looked at you. You were already calculating what today was going to cost. Calculating is the word, because that is what happens next. You soften your voice before you have even decided to. You volunteer a small laugh to thin out the silence. You phrase your update carefully so it does not land on her wrong. Nobody asked you to do any of this, and you will not remember doing it by the end of the day. You are not overreacting. You picked up something real, something the room never said out loud. The part nobody talks about is the apology you gave anyway, the one you had no reason to give just to make the air breathable again. You smiled through it and then quietly despised yourself for smiling. Smiling through it is only half of what happened. The other half was the full conversation you rehearsed in your head, the measured, careful version, and then quietly discarded because you calculated the other person could not handle it right now. That calculation is not kindness. That calculation is what exhausts you by 3 in the afternoon without a single confrontation happening. Something in this pattern has a name, and knowing it changes what you do next. Here is the mechanism. Early in your working life, reading the room and adjusting kept things safe. A critical mood diffused, a blow-up prevented, credit quietly earned for being easy to work with. The office rewarded it so consistently that your nervous system stopped waiting for a reason and started scanning constantly, automatically, every room you entered. Most people run this pattern for years without ever noticing it has a cost, let alone knowing it could work differently. The cost arrives at 5:47 on a Tuesday when nothing bad actually happened. The meeting ran fine. Nobody exploded. You kept every plate spinning. And yet you sit at your empty desk unable to open your bag to leave, staring at a screensaver because the body spent 8 hours braced for an impact that never came, and now has nowhere to put that energy. The weight of all the moods you managed sits in your chest like something borrowed that was never returned. The room shifts and your whole body is already moving toward it. That is the exact moment to press one foot flat to the floor and feel the pressure. Not to fix anything, just to locate yourself before you locate everyone else. After the meeting ends, something still sits in your chest from scanning all of it. Write down whose mood you tried to manage and what you did to manage it. Naming it on paper removes it from the part of your brain that keeps rechecking it overnight. 1 sentence per person is enough. Over weeks, the writing habit does one specific thing. You begin noticing the scan happening in real time instead of hours later. That half-second gap is everything. You stop mid-scan and choose whether to respond to their mood or let it belong to them. Eventually, certain people's bad days stop landing in your body as emergencies. That is not detachment. That is the boundary finally having a name. Every Sunday evening holds a 5-minute window before the week takes over. In that window, the one question worth asking is, whose emotions are actually yours to carry this week? Writing 3 names on a piece of paper and then crossing out 2 of them is not dramatic. It is the first structural line between your nervous system and everyone else's calendar. The second prevention habit lives in one rule set before every meeting, not during it. The rule is 3 words long, not my emergency. Someone else's tense jaw is information, not a task assigned to Ghosty. The moment this rule exists before walking into the room, the scanning starts to slow. Not because the room changed, but because the structure changed first. Noticing everyone else's emotional weather before your own is not a flaw in your character. It is what happens when staying safe once required reading the room perfectly. The exhaustion is real. Nobody watching this to the end is making it up. Next, why fixing everyone else leaves you with nothing at all?